Throughout the years, games have dealt with many different topics and many different perspectives. However, there was never really a game that focused on actually making games. One of the very few games that actually involve you making games is Game Dev Tycoon. This game was developed and published by Greenheart Games, which is a very independent studio. Now, many people won't take this game for face value and think it's a ripoff of Game Dev's story. While the developers admitted that most of their inspiration came from this game, it is not exactly the same. I mean, personally, I haven't played Game Dev's story. Now, unlike my previous reviews, I'm going to focus mainly on the gameplay on this one, as graphics and audio are not really all that important in a game like this. So as you first play this game, you go through various tutorials, and you basically have to start up from the bottom. And by the bottom, I mean you start from a garage in your own home. To me, I like this because it really shows and it really gets in depth in where game developers really start. After you become very successful and make enough money, you're able to move up and to finally start a small business of game developers. This is where the game really picks up because you have more resources and more options become available to you as you have more staff. So how do you develop a game? Well, the first thing you do is you enter a title. You also pick the topic of what the game's going to revolve around. You pick the genre, and then you finally pick the platform. Now, as you develop the game, there are 3 different stages of development. When these stages come, you select how much time do you want to devote to each section. So do you want to devote more time to gameplay or more time to level design? Many of these factors are very important as that can influence the success or failure of your game. So as you finally finish the game, a status screen appears saying how much development and technology points that you've earned throughout the development cycle. It also shows how much experience that you've gained. You have a choice to release the game or to just throw it out. Then you get your scores. Depending on what you focused on in the game, how the technology that you have available to you is what score that you will get. As you get farther into the game and you unlock more things, you're able to have more control over the development cycle and you have more exact things on what you want to get across. Now, in their latest patch, they have included this new feature called Generate Game Report. So after you create a game, you get to generate a report, and that report tells you the successes and failures. So you find out what good combinations that you did right and what were the bad combinations that you've done wrong. Now, as the staff grows and as you develop and get further into the game, you are able to get bigger and better games, as you are able to have a bigger budget when it comes to these games. And it comes to a point where as these games increase in size, that you have to send specialists to work on every game. And they also get fatigued if they work too much. You also have to develop engines as well. You get to create your own game engines. And these game engines will have their own features. Now it's your choice to put what features that you want to be included in the engine and what features you want to be included in the game. An example could be, would you rather include celebrity voice acting or would you rather include minigames? Would you rather have an open world or would you rather have surround sound? You know, those choices really become a factor and they do make an impact on the overall score of the game, depending on, once again, the genre and the type of game that you are making. This game follows closely to the events that happen in real life, such as the reveal of the Xbox 360, the reveal of the NES, the reveal of the Game Boy, you know, some failures in video games. All that stuff goes on as you're getting through the game. There are also random events, such as bugs could be into your game, and you have to develop a patch for it in order to gain more fans, or you can just ignore it completely in order to save money. Issues such as pirating is also tackled, such as, do you want to sue the people that have pirated your games, or do you leave them alone? The key thing about this game is the more you put in, the more you'll earn, such as eventually you'll get the ability to unlock a research and development lab, which gets you access to even more technology, such as creating MMOs, creating your own conventions, or even AAA budget games. And if you gain enough resources and feel like taking a risk, you can create your own consoles. And these consoles come in with the features that you want to include, such as a certain type of graphics, certain features such as multiplayer, online play, can all be included in the consoles that you create. That's the key thing about this game, and I can't stress it enough, but you really have to put in time with this game. At the beginning, it might not feel all that great, as it's kind of a little bit random and you don't really have all that much control over the games. But now, as with the new patches, you do. And that's one thing I congratulate Greenheart Games for doing. They actually continue to support this game to this day. Even though this game was released about 2 years ago, to this day they are still releasing patches through Steam. Now, I haven't even touched bases on the features regarding training your staff, researching with your staff. Also, you have to manage them just in case they get too stressed. You got to send them on vacations, interviews, marketing. All that stuff is involved in the game development part. This game is also relatively bug-free, as I've played this game for about 25 plus hours, and I have not encountered any game-breaking bugs at all. Overall, this is a great game. There's a lot of replay value as you play it the second time. There's more opportunities and more things you can find. Plus, there's different random events as well, so it keeps the game really varied. Most of my complaints have been answered through post-release patch, so that is one thing I have to commemorate Greenheart Studios for. And because of that, this game gets a 9 out of 10. This game is a must-buy for video game fans, and to especially support a developing studio such as Greenheart Games. Even after this review, I still feel like going back and playing this game a couple more times. Now, this is Pow3rh0use signing off.